Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a demo of the new Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Hydrating Foundation. A lot of requests to use this product in a video. I'm also going to be trying out the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. So I'm going to be doing them both at the same time. Typically when I'm doing a foundation, I like to stick with my very regular routine, but you know, I'm gonna use both of these new products today. I also thought it'd be fun to answer some questions, just some, random chatty questions that I got on IG stories. So I'm gonna be answering those throughout this video. I'm sorry if I'm getting winded. I was sick. My last video was my no foundation look, but right after I filmed that video, I was done. Like this flu, it was like the most extreme cold I think I've ever had. I was literally like, I did not leave my house for like 4 days straight. Like I couldn't do anything. I was in bed for 4 days straight. I haven't gotten that sick in a long time, and I know a lot of people also got something very similar around me, and I felt like everybody was sick last week. All right, first question. How are your brows after months of microblading, and would you still recommend it? Let's see, how long? It's been like almost a year actually. And I am still so glad that I did it, and I plan on going in for like the refill or the touch up. I believe she said every like 6 to 8 months, and I was trying to go in around the holidays, like November, December. I didn't make it. Everything just got kind of crazy. So I still fill in my brows every day. I know a lot of people are like, well, why would you get your brows done if you still fill them in every day? Personal preference. I definitely had way more brow than what I normally had. I would still recommend it. My mom is obsessed. My mom had like almost zero brow hair. She literally had like 4 strands of hair, no shade to my mom. She has like a full brow now. Like she absolutely loves it. And I think especially for her, starting with like almost no brows to having at least some like a shape where she could fill it in every single day and her brows look the same every day. She loves it. I love it. I definitely want to do it again. For me, I know I messed up with my maintenance. I like worked out way too soon and started sweating too soon. You're not supposed to sweat for like 10 to 14 days, and I was in the gym like 3 days later. I just couldn't not go. Long story, a little bit longer, 100% yes, I love it. I would do it again. I plan on doing it again. I recommend it. It didn't completely eliminate my brow process for me, but it made it substantially quicker. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put on the foundation. I picked out shade 35 Nude Beige, and this is the Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Hydrating Foundation. It has hyaluronic acid and collagen. So let's do a color match. This is shade number 35, Nude Beige. I feel pretty good about this one. You know, one thing that's nice about lighter coverage foundations in general is that they're much more forgiving when you color match them. There must be a really good reason why they don't put the undertone on here. What foundations do? There is a drugstore one that does. Oh, the e.l.f. foundations say on the cap, like this is for medium skin with golden undertone or neutral or peach or whatever. I wish more brands would do that because it just makes it so much easier. If you do know your undertone, you can actually go pick it out, you know? I really don't understand why more brands don't do that, because I feel like it would save so many returns from happening, you know? What habits do you want to break and start in the new year? So one habit that I want to break that I've actually been doing really good, I know in my video with John, we talked a lot about this, but those were more, oh, that looks nice. Those were more like behavioral changes, I would say. And one habit that I have been doing really good at since the new year started, it sounds like really small, but it actually is a big deal to me, is putting my clothes away. Like when I take my shoes off and take my clothes off after anything, I used to take my clothes off or my shoes off and just kick them around the house, or just take them off as I'm walking. Like I walk in the door, I take off my jacket, throw it on the kitchen table, take my shoes off when I sit at the counter and they're right there. And then I go into my closet, take all my clothes off, and I leave it on the floor. And that I realized was causing me like a lot of stress. And so I just told myself, I was like, dude, just put it away. Like your mom tells you, right? Just put it away as you take it off, and then you won't have to like spend a lot of time on it later. So I finally started doing that. My house stays so much cleaner now. It's pretty amazing. And I just have way less shoes everywhere. That's one habit that I wanted to break this year, and I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job at it. Wow, this looks pretty good. This is actually more coverage than I thought it was gonna be. And what habits do I wanna start in the new year? Ooh. One habit that I wanted to start was having dinner planned out Monday through Thursday. Already have it planned out for the week, so basically doing like my own kind of meal prep. But I don't do the meal preps and like put them in like 20 individual containers. That just doesn't work for me so much. Sometimes I'm more hungry, sometimes I'm less hungry. So that particular formula of like just pulling out one Tupperware and it's already like all measured and everything doesn't work for me. But what has been working is being like, okay, this is what I'm gonna have for dinner Monday night. I'll have leftovers for that Tuesday, cook again on Wednesday, something like that. As you guys may have seen in our other video, one thing that John and I want to have more of is like a bit more of like a better work-life balance. And for me, I spend a lot of time figuring out what I'm gonna eat. I don't know if that sounds weird, but I don't like eating the same thing every single day. So I'm always kind of like brainstorming new recipes or like looking up new stuff. And I end up spending way too much time figuring out what to have for dinner. Simple stuff that's already making a big difference. Wow, look at this, you guys. This looks pretty good. So quite a few of you said in the last video, can you please freaking zoom in more? So that's what I'm doing today. I mean, I'm not gonna do the whole video like this because I kind of like move around a lot, but this is just the foundation on my skin. My skin is more dry right now, definitely more dry, so it looks a little bit drier. I think this foundation also has a little bit of like a moussier texture rather than liquidy. So if you are super, super dry, it might cling to those areas. But I like how this evens out my skin tone, but it doesn't feel like I'm wearing a lot. Like for sure doesn't feel like I'm wearing a lot of makeup right now. I'm gonna put some lip balm on so nobody can come for my dry lips, okay? I also got the new e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I found them on an end cap at Target. I picked up 3 shades. Medium Peach, which is too dark for me, but I got Light Sand and Light Peach. Let me see. I'm gonna try Light Peach. This one's a little bit more pinky, just on the inner corners here for the dark. It's definitely like pretty white. Is this one oxidized? The last one I think oxidizes, right? The camo, the regular camo one? All right, let's go in with Medium Peach here. I'm sinking. Sorry, this is a very crucial step here. So you can kind of see what it's looking like here. I'm not really crazy about these colors. I feel like Medium Peach is like a little bit warm on me. Let me throw some Light Sand on my inner corners and see if that helps out here. Okay, I think maybe Light Sand and Medium Peach was like a better color combination for me. It's definitely got like a luminous finish to it for sure. I feel better now. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. When I put the first color on, I was like, oh, this is not going good. I really considered on bailing on the whole situation. Now I'm going to set very, very lightly with Laura Mercier, just translucent powder. Just keep it cool, keep it comfortable, you know? I'm having one of those days where I'm like, concerned about putting powder on my under eyes. I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna like this. Next question, will you do more challenges with Desi? You girls always make me laugh. Yes, I would love to do more challenges. I would love to film like more fun videos this year for sure. Let us know what challenges you guys think Desi and I should do. I feel like we're always, I mean, I'm kind of speaking on her behalf right now, but I feel like we're always down to film together. Sometimes we're just like, well, what should we film? Okay, I'm gonna take some of the concealer and use it as an eyeshadow base. So now I'm gonna be using Snap Shadows from Fenty. This is number 2. All right, next question. How come you seem to take a step back from brand trips and brand parties for a while? Oh, that's an interesting question. I did definitely pull back from going to a lot of events and brand trips. I felt like I was putting a lot of time and effort into making sure I did those things instead of doing other things that I really wanted to accomplish as well. I had to take a step back for myself. Which was definitely hard to just kind of pull back on everything because I felt really guilty for not going to a lot of things because I really wanted to kind of prioritize and figure out like what it is that I wanted to do and what was really, really important to me. And I just kind of felt like I wasn't giving myself the time to do that. And it has nothing to do with like the brands or the events or the trips itself. It was more so time. You know, sometimes we just have to pull back and reflect for a second. And I feel really glad that I actually gave myself the time to do that. It was really hard too. You know what I'm doing? I needed a different color, like a transition color. So I'm just taking Blur from Melt. Just anything that's like similar to your skin tone. I needed one of these in here and just to kind of diffuse this up into the brow bone. Ooh, good question here. Good question. This is something that I've actually been thinking about lately. John and I have discussed. Do you ever regret going to school given your current career path that you're on? It's so interesting because I have like so many mixed emotions about school and stuff. I definitely 100% don't regret going to school. I feel like I learned so much while I was in college, even if it wasn't material wise, like, I learned calculus, which I never took calculus, but you know what I mean? Something like that. Nothing like that per se, but I learned so much just about life. I feel like it taught me a lot about life, like scheduling and when classes are impacted, registration, working full time while going to school, money management, time management, making sure I graduated in 4 years, transferring from Long Beach State to Sonoma State when I was like failing was definitely like a growing moment for me. Looking back on that, I'm actually surprised that I made that decision. But you learn a lot about like working in group projects, public speaking, stuff like that, just dealing with other people. I feel like those are all skills. I'm not saying that you can't learn those through jobs and stuff, but I feel like it was just definitely like a learning experience that I 100% do not regret. Now, if I went to like law school or something, I would probably be a little TO'd, if you know what I mean. So next question is, how is the new studio space and do you guys have any plans for it? It's amazing. I'm loving it so far. Like just being able to have a separate space has been a huge game changer for me. I feel like my home has a different energy to it now. Like it just feels more like just home, you know? And not only that, but I've also freed up 3 rooms in our house, you guys. I felt like we were busting at the seams before, and I was just like, oh my God, John, we need to move out of here. And now it just feels like this is okay. So now I have the family room back. We have a really tiny bedroom right next to it that we were using to store all of the lights that John buys, basically. That room is free now. And then also one of the bedrooms we were using as a home office for John. And that room is free now, so I can actually make it like a guest room. We do have plans for the studio space. We actually just met with a contractor a couple days ago, redoing the bathrooms, redoing a lot of stuff, doing some flooring. Very excited about that. You know, I love renovation projects, so if you guys want to see some of that, let me know. It's gonna be a completely different style than my house. At first I wanted to make it feel very homey, and now I just have I have totally different plans for it. Life is a project, you know? You always think something's gonna be done, but then something else comes up. I've definitely learned that along the way. Look at these new NARS blushes. This probably doesn't even seem like a blush, but I love it. This is Zen, and this one is matte, and this is illicit, and this is more of a sheen to it. I'm just gonna talk to you down here. NARS has some really fire new stuff. I feel like I could make a video just on new NARS products that I'm into right now. Oh, here it is. This is the one that I've been using a lot. Tempted. Ooh, I might throw that on there. So I'm gonna start with Zen first, and then I'll go in with Tempted. Okay, next question. What are your fitness goals for this year? So I can do chin-ups now. I feel like I can do a pull-up, an overhand, because this is chin-up, but I feel like I can do pull-up too. Maybe not as many, but I'm pretty sure I can do it right now. So that is definitely checked off my list. Maintaining is something that is also really difficult, not as glorified as actually making the goals, but actually maintaining the goals is something that you should celebrate too. So if I can maintain that throughout the year, I'll be very, very happy. I wanna get a pull-up bar to put in here. Anytime I want to, I can just go hop in there and do some pull-ups. Do's and don'ts for wedding. I would just say because you know, it's quite a hefty expense, do spend the money where it matters to you. I feel like there's so many people and so many opinions, like you need to do this, you need to do that, do that, do that. Really take a second to reflect on what it is that you and your partner want. Like, what is it that you guys want? What's really, really important to you? And I just remember, like, one thing that stands out to me for our wedding was like, I don't want to spend a lot of money on flowers. And I was trying to think of solutions, like what could I possibly do to save money on flowers? Because it feels like you should have them there. I just didn't want to drop on flowers. I got a few quotes and it was like 3,000, 5,000, and I just like, what? Ended up finding this little tiny florist in the area that I was getting married at. And part of it was because it was a much smaller town that I got married in, but my wedding flowers ended up costing $400, and we had bouquets, we had centerpieces on each thing, but my mom actually put together the centerpieces. It was like hurricane glasses with some lilies in it, but she helped out a lot with that. We didn't go overboard on flowers. It was an outdoor wedding. It was in like a vineyardy looking kind of place. So I just felt like we have this beautiful nature outside. Like, what is the point of spending all this money on flowers? You know, obviously you spend a lot of time planning it and you want everything to be perfect, but it's really the memories that mean more than what's actually there. Like for me anyway, that's what matters more, is like, did everybody have fun? Was it a good experience, rather than like, were the flowers perfect, or was this perfect, or was that perfect? Like, it all happened so fast, but it's hard for me to say like do's and don'ts because it's such a personal experience and everybody has a different vision of what they want. Like John and I are both pretty like, we don't like a lot of attention like that. So a wedding in general was already like a big thing for us. So I didn't have this like huge vision, like this is what I've wanted to do my whole life. Ever since I was a little girl, this is exactly the wedding that I wanted. I didn't really have that. It just depends on what's important to you. And I just think that I would focus on like really, really what's important to you and just make that your priority, especially when it comes to budgeting. Lash time here, you guys. We're going in with Batty B Saucy Lashes. Love this next question. Did you watch You season 2? Oh yes, we did. John and I watched season 1 and season 2. We watched both seasons this past week. I thought season 1 was way more thrilling. Not necessarily better, but I was on the edge of my seat all of season 1. I had to download games on my phone, like word games and Tetris. Woody is a good one if you're looking for a calming game to play while I was watching it because it was that intense. And then season 2, I just felt like, I don't know if it was because I was used to I was gonna call him Dan, to Joe and his creepy ways, but I just feel like it didn't have the same level of thrill that season 1 had. Okay, this next question, I love this question. Did you freak out before you turned 30? Because I'm freaking the F out. This is so funny because when I was turning 30, I was like sick. Like honestly, get me out of my 20s. 20s for me was such a like, how do I even describe it? I feel like you go through so much in your 20s and like your early 20s are just like, what the hell is this? And then your late 20s is like, all right, I'm kind of starting to figure this shit out. My energy was just so different in my mid 20s than where I'm at now. And I was just like, get me out of here when it came to my 20s. Like I'm good. Like it's solid. It feels more solid to me. Like you know a little bit more about yourself. You've kind of figured out who you are as a person. And like I said, you know, some of you probably have it figured out a lot earlier, but for me, it took a lot longer. And I think my 30s is such a better place for me. So I was kind of all about it, you know? I just got a bunch of questions about working out. What motivates you to work out? And how do you stay so focused on working out? What's something that keeps you going? I actually love working out, going to the gym. It's my me time. I feel like it brings me a lot of joy. I love getting stronger. I love the feeling of working out. I think having a facility that you really like going to, you like the energy in there, like in the gym, is very important. I've worked out in other places and I don't have similar feelings, like the vibes, or maybe you just don't feel comfortable there. Like that's okay. And I feel like finding a place that you really enjoy being in will help fuel your motivation to actually work out. This is KKW Nude 1.5. Setting smaller goals has just been so helpful for me in so many different areas of my life. I think nutrition is probably where it's the most effective for me. But setting smaller goals and accomplishing those small goals builds more confidence to get you to keep going. Rather than setting like this crazy goal, maybe I have this crazy goal of like having abs by summer. If I don't have abs by summer, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, screw it, you know, whatever. I don't wanna do this anymore. But instead of saying that, being able to say, oh, going to the gym 3 times a week. Maybe I should start there before I try and strive to have abs. So setting smaller goals, I think, will help you get to your goal quicker. So even if it's like you're just starting to work out, all right, my goal is to go to the gym 3 times a week. And then that's it. Just go to the gym 3 times a week. This does not look good. Okay. I actually love this color, but it's not looking good on me right now. My lips are too dry. I'm gonna dab it on. She's dry right now, you guys. She's dry, okay? I need total taupe, honestly. This is a mess. A mess. I'm gonna dab on a little bit of I Am Pretty from Milani. There you go. Get something a little bit more hydrating. Last question, am I still loving short nails? I have little, I mean, these are really short, right? Yeah, these are, I mean, these are grown out right now too. I need to go get them done. But yes, I am still loving short nails. Ever since I started boxing, I had to cut my nails to basically like fingertip length. Like, yeah, they're really long right now. Ooh. Ever since then, like when I see long nail photos and stuff on Instagram, I wish I had them. I wish I could do it, but I love that I can go like this. I love having a really quick nail appointment compared to what it was before. I definitely love it. It's nice, it's convenient, it's worth it to me. I'll just enjoy everybody else's long nails on the gram because you know what? I don't have the patience for it anymore. All right, you guys, here is the last close-up of this foundation concealer. I really like the foundation. I don't know how I feel about the concealer. The foundation does have a soft luminous finish, but it's definitely not a super high shine foundation. Like to me, this definitely is a little bit more matte than some of my skin tints that I use. I feel like it went on evenly. It looks good on the skin. For me, the concealer, I think I could have better color correction, like right here on the darker inner corners. The light peach color that I used kind of was too bright and didn't do the color correcting that I was hoping it was gonna do. So I do think I could have like a better conceal happening here. You know, I'm very, very picky with my concealers, and this one I would say gets a B minus. All right guys, so that wraps up today's video. The foundation, I definitely like. The concealer, I would like to try it without powder. I think it does still kind of look a little bit dry on my under eyes, and it could have a better color correcting quality to it. Anyway, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. Zoe wants to say bye, you guys. Say bye, Zoe. Oh, she's tired. Are you tired, Zoe? She's tired. She's been sitting next to me this whole time. Excuse me. Hello. Scoot, scoot, scoot. Today, hello there. Hello. 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 Desperately trying to make this comb over go away. Hello shedding. Love that for me. Hello. There we go.